Happy Labor Day! It's a little bit early. I'm totally starting early because I just wanted to hit go live and get going on some foam rolling because I just kind of feel ready to go. I'm up. I might be going golfing today. So let's just talk about that for a second and why golf. This is my early pre-session chat about why golf and triathlon or cycling or running or any other activities, why golf is a great activity. Because the bottom line physically, the key aspects in the golf swing are the ankles, the hips, and the thoracic spine, those three. And if you follow a little bit about golf, you can kind of start seeing it became socially acceptable as a true sport when Tiger Woods started playing golf, and he created a much more athletic view of playing golf and what it meant to be an athlete in that sport. And I never really played it growing up. I was definitely a basketball player. It's something that I was pretty good at. I didn't become an endurance athlete until my 30s. I've been loving endurance sports and I'm not stopping that. They take a lot of time, golf and endurance sports, so I have to get up really early, which means I have no social life, and I go to bed really early. But I've been able to pull it all off. Probably been a little bit crazy on the golf this summer, but it doesn't feel as good physically to only be a golfer, so it's not an option. I am an endurance athlete, getting back on the bike, had a glorious 2-hour ride yesterday, and I really missed it. So internal rotation of the hips is probably the biggest thing that I've noticed, that it has enhanced my overall health as a runner and as a triathlete, because the golf swing is all hip rotation. So it has not only made me a better golfer, but it has also made me a better runner. So if you are considering another sport, I have a bunch of brothers in the UK and they thought of a name, Clubs in Carbon. And so if you like to ride bikes and you like to play golf, I mean, there's beautiful holidays and vacations that you can plan around those two sports. You're outside, you're in beautiful settings, even in places that I didn't find to be necessarily. We're going right up to the thoracic spine here. Good morning if you're just joining. We're just taking a little extra time on the foam roller today. Even just bringing my hands up to my elbows like that with the foam roller, just gently pressing into the upper back, definitely got some popping and cracking, and to me that means movement. So if you're popping and cracking and snapping, or my knee does this when I move this way, and there's no pain associated with it, it usually means that tissue is moving. And we always talk about that gliding motion. So you've heard it many times, movement is medicine, and that applies to all different spaces within the body. We need glide and slide all through the tissue, and the tissues are built to act independently of each other, but then alongside with each other as well. So a little bit of upper back toggling, side to side, and a lot of times Mobility Monday is just about a reminder to show up and focus. Little side bend. From right here, I can see my elbows, and that's my self-selected position. So I already know what I'm looking for as a coach, so I will tell you that if I was trying to win, I would probably expand those elbows to the outside, but sometimes just get in a position. From this position, peripheral vision, can you see your elbows? If you can, you're pretty tight through your chest for whatever reason. Could be working on the computer, as I have been a lot lately. So you just want to lay back in that position and without any worry. So if it worries you, it means you're trying to protect yourself. Just expand the elbows to the side and open the chest. Feel that nice chest stretch that you're getting as you go into that. Let's go one more time. And then we can enhance that stretch with some thoracic spine and rib cage expansion with a big breath. So let's take a big inhale through the nose. Try to just puff your chest out. And then just kind of collapse. When you expand your rib cage, we're looking for that 360 degrees of expansion. So breathe into your back and breathe into your side, okay? We're gonna go there one more time, then we'll move on. Okay, elbows to the side, big inhale. Fill the ribs with big lungs, and then exhale. And just feel them collapse. Oh, popping and cracking. All right, let's take that foam roller, and we're just gonna sit on it laterally. So we're just gonna sit on it sideways. So here, we're just gonna roll across. Ooh. This is what happens when you get back on the bike and you start running again. Again, hopefully we're all following each other on Strava, because then we're holding each other accountable. The only reason to be on Strava, other than it's really evolving as a cool social media flip through, I loved yesterday flipping through some Strava and seeing what all my friends did. And it's even better. Strava's better if you start putting a photograph or two of your session. It's, you know, even if it's just you having a donut afterwards, it really makes it even more entertaining. Because sometimes on the Instagram or Facebook, you know, it's much more of my friends and family, and I just want to see all you guys. I want to see all my athlete friends. And my athlete friends all live on Strava. They live on stories on Instagram as well, but Strava is cool. Put some pictures up. I'll start doing the same. I didn't put any pictures up yesterday. Okay, lateral aspect to the hips. Whew. Going sideways. And good. All right. Last Monday session was in Hawaii. This Monday session, basement, Boulder. Still a beautiful place, just in the basement. All right. It also prompted me from last week's session. I must apologize for the sound quality, but I did buy a mic, so that'll help. All right, so from right there, we're just going to go into that same position we were on the foam roller from the 90-90. I'm going to turn towards my up knee, all right? So just elbows out wide, and we're just going to turn and come back. If you can use the wall, you would put the yoga block between you and the wall. I'm just doing it this way so you can see a little bit more. 2, we're going to go 5 of these. 3, you don't want to lose that lead knee. That's why we would use the wall, and I'll show you that in just a second. 4, one more, and 5, and we'll switch to the other side. So separating the ribs and the hips is a big part of having really effective mobility. In my new core strength program launching online, I talk about core focus, not core strength, because a lot of times strength can be confused with rigidity. We need you to be able to move your rib cage without moving your hips. So as I turn into that lead leg, this knee has to stay in and back. 2 and back. Hopefully you don't mind if I overteach sometimes. 3, it's kind of my biggest strength and my biggest weakness. There's too much information. And 1 more. And good. So if you're setting that up against the wall, you grab your yoga block. You want to put your right side right up on the wall. Put your left side right up on the foam roller or on the yoga block. And you're just going to turn into this position. The second part of that is to then rotate and turn into this position. From this position into this position. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to put this picture up later. My basement is just like everybody else's basement. Okay? So we start, that's the movement we just did where we turned into the lead leg, that position. And then we roll that arm back, and we end up in this position. And then we roll that arm forward. There it is again. Roll it back. And roll it back. There's more to that progression, but we're not going to go there today. Okay? Try that later if you don't have a wall as we do the session together. Okay, lateral half kneeling. We're going in and out of the hip flexion. So just push the hips back, and we'll start that with the hands on the ground. So hands on the ground, lateral half kneeling position. This foot needs to be straight, and we're just going to push back and then forward. 2, forward. We're staying with 5 reps. 3, 4, and 5. Change side. Half kneeling, lateral. Foot is nice and straight. Hands on the ground. Head is not hanging. We're just keeping that head nice and neutral. Push the hips back. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. Go back to the first side, lateral half kneeling. Gotta use that sticky mat. The mat's a good tool to have. If you don't have one, you should get one. It's pretty easy. From right here, we're gonna push the hips back. Right leg is out. We're gonna take the right hand and reach under. And then just come right back. 2, dynamic mobility here. 3, 4, and 5. And you can see in that movement, we're getting thoracic spine, we're getting hips, and we're getting the ankle because we've got a nice lateral position with the foot also long through the ankle on this side, short through the ankle on that side. So we're getting a lot of mobility through the ankle as well. All right, right here, head's neutral. We push the hips back, left leg's out, so left arm is reaching under. 1, 2. Got an email yesterday from a guy that was just so thankful of my attention to the adductor group, the inner thigh. 4, 1 more, and 5. So just starting to really contemplate how the whole body connects. When you go here and you push your hips back, you should feel tension or length or loading into the inner thigh. As soon as you then add length through that thoracic spine, we load into this hip muscularly, and this side goes long. So when this side can activate, this side feels safe to then lengthen. That's so helpful in the running stride because when you push into the ground and land, this hip has to activate. This hip goes into extension. If your landing leg is strong and has the integrity of a good pillar strength, then this leg is going to feel beautiful to swing and swing through again. So there's the landing phase, and then there's the swing phase, and then there's the extension. So just know the adductor is so important with how the hips move, right? They have to move, or else we start asking more of the spine. All right, nice wide stance. We're just going to push into that nice founder. Push your hips as far back as they'll go. Work that hip hinge. Counterbalance with the hands to the front. So right there, hands to the front. You're loading not only adductors, but also high hamstring now. All right? 4. We're going to go 10 of these. Push your hips back. 5. 6. 7. Good. 8. 9. One more. And 10. Shake that up. All right. We're going to turn the hips into a little bit of external rotation. That'll open the joint up a little bit. So hips, our feet just outside of shoulder width. Turn your toes out just a little bit. Have your hands be right down the middle and lengthen the fingers. And we're just going to drop into that body weight squat, come right back up. So we're just going to go 10 body weight squats. The measuring stick here is going to be straight arms and come straight back up and fingertips. All right? So is it a little bit of a strength move? Yeah, because it's a squat. But the bottom line is right here, want those hips opening up and activating. 4, 5, we're going for 10. We're also warming up tissue. 7, there's 110 of these sessions now listed on YouTube. Before you go do activity and you want to do well in that activity, do one of these sessions to get you prepared. Chances are, I'm always thinking about, this would be good for everything. I can't think of a sport where ankles, hips, and thoracic spine don't matter. Okay, right here, we're just going to push the hips back and come forward. So we also do this from a half kneeling position. We're doing it from the standing position. Split stance, working the big toe flexibility in the back, and just push hips back, keep chest up, you load high hamstring. 1, 2, we're just doing 5 each side. 3, 4, and 5. Same thing other side. Big toe, getting a little bit of flexibility work in the back. Pull the ribs off the hips with a big breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so last time I had you in a super wide stance, 2 times shoulder width. Let's bring that in just a little bit. I don't want your toes out, but I also don't want you anchoring in too much as well. So the goal here is to have pretty neutral feet, all right? So we're about 1.5 times shoulder width. We're gonna push into 5 founders. So we're pushing the hips back, hands to the front, just like that. Let's go 5 of them. Push your hips back, 2. Keep pushing from the bottom. When you go palms up, your shoulder blades drop on your back. So that way we want to finish in kind of that position. 3, 4, one more, 5. From here, let's pull the thumbs back to the shoulders, drop into a squat. Come back up, hands into long wing, hips forward. So we're going to push into the founder, bring the hands back to the shoulders, squeeze your shoulder blades, and then drop into a squat. Now, overhead press as high as you can. 5 reps. 2, stay in the squat. 3, 4, 5. Good. Hands come back, hips come up, back into long wing. So a little bit more work in that, putting you into the overhead squat position. Whew, a little bit lightheaded. And just as an active recovery, just like rotating into the hips. We're going to do all of that one more time. Stay with me, okay? Feet are straight, they're neutral. Take a big breath, pull the ribs off the hips. So you're creating that space. A lot of times we use measuring sticks. From right there, push your hips back. Knees are kind of tall here. They're kind of straight. Drop the elbows. Pull the hands. Show me your hands. Drop into a squat. Pull the shoulder blades together. Overhead press, 5 reps. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hands come back to the front, hips come back up, and we come right back out of that. Good job. A little bit more work involved in that overhead squat, but it really, really is necessary. Okay, necessary for optimal movement, necessary for maybe winning. What is winning? That's a whole session. For me, winning is doing better during a period of time. Lately, my golf, I haven't been trying to get better. I've actually been trying to become a better golfer, but there's a process to it, right? Just like running, sometimes that easy run, you don't think it makes you better because it's just easy, but I'll tell you, there's this little backdoor thing happening where you are getting better, even though you're not pushing into it, you're not pushing harder. That's why Mobility Monday is so cool, because it doesn't have to be hard to get you better. Just a thought. Keep pushing those knees out. We're in that 45 degrees out from the hip. We're just going to finish up with some really easy half kneeling hip openers. I'm really excited right now. I just upgraded the versions of all of my short video programs. What used to be known, right knee out at 45, what used to be known, and some of you might have, the black ECFIT Boulder application, the app. It is no longer supported by the technology for the company that helped me with that. We started that about 10 years ago. ECFIT Boulder is now known as ECFIT Pro, launching a new website, hopefully early next week. And I'm really excited about the new version. Definitely comes without, it's not perfect yet. It may never be perfect because it's me. It might just be almost perfect, but I'm always available to make things better. So keeping things updating right now. Super excited about all of it because all of these movements that we do on Mondays need to be supported with great strength along the way. All right, so let's just go into where we started. As I put my hands behind my head now, this is nice. I cannot see my elbows, and it was natural. It went right to it. So we're going to go left knee up, right elbow is just going to push the hips back, and we're going right elbow to left knee, and then come back. So the first movement is that hip hinge back. Second move is elbow to knee. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. Tissue's starting to warm up. Feels pretty darn good. And we're just going to do the same thing. First move is hips back. All right, so right knee up, left elbow's going to touch to that right knee. 1, 2, 3, 4, and one more, and 5. Happy Labor Day here in the United States. This is kind of the official start to fall. I don't know if you're following the University of Colorado, but I played basketball at CU. I am so excited about the prime era. I figured even in the first quarter of the TCU game this weekend, football, even if they didn't win, it was still going to be exciting because these athletes are insanely good athletes. So the fact that we beat TCU is even more exciting. So college football, NFL football, fall training, starting to think already about 2024 racing and periodization and how we're going to come together for 2024. Hopefully you're planning your next year already. This has always been like New Year's for me. I hope you have an amazing day with family and friends. And if you have to go to work, have a great day there too. See ya.